My name is Nada, and today I'm taking a step forward on my personal journey toward opening myself up more and sharing my voice. Most of my life has been a conscious endeavor to better understand myself and my place in this world. And for a very long time, I've felt a calling to share some of the wisdom that I've gained along this journey. But I've also been holding back. I'm not the most socially outgoing person. I tend to be more introverted. And when I'm with other people, especially in groups, I tend to listen and observe more than engaging in conversation. When I do speak, I tend to be soft-spoken and keep my responses short. I really don't feel comfortable being in the spotlight, and so I'll often keep my thoughts to myself. And though I seldom speak, I actually have a lot to say. I'm still in the process of coming to understand why I've been this way for so long and why it seems difficult stepping out. For much of my life, I've been withdrawn. I've been introspective, spending a lot of time alone just processing everything that I've been learning. And sometimes I find it difficult to adequately express my thoughts. There have also been times when the thoughts I've shared have been dismissed, devalued, and misunderstood by others. I remember even as a child having ideas that I knew the people around me wouldn't understand because it would challenge so many of the strongly held societal beliefs and assumptions. And I think that I've been withdrawn for so long that now it's just habit. So being in a position of openly expressing myself feels really awkward and uncomfortable. It just feels different than what I'm accustomed to. Sometimes I'm hesitant to share because I find myself questioning whether I'm actually qualified. I'm not a psychologist or a spiritual teacher, and I'm certainly not enlightened. And the more I learn, the more I realize how much I've yet to understand. And so I don't want to come across as seeming wiser than I actually am. I don't want anyone to assume that I've got it all figured out, because I don't. When I think about sharing my insights with others, I feel both inspired and anxious at the same time. And when I look at the discomfort, I realize that there's a sense of self-doubt and insecurity. And I know it's because I've put such a high standard on myself. Instead of simply recognizing the value of my gifts, I can't help but see all of the flaws and imperfections, all of the areas that are in need of improvement. And I get hung up on that. So I have this ideal about being in a place of perfection before I can be in a place of sharing. And I know that's unreasonable, because I'm not even certain what perfection is or whether it's achievable. In my heart, I know that what I have to share is valuable, and that sharing in this way would be a service to others. And as I've said, I've felt called to this for much of my life, but I keep waiting until I've perfected myself. And I realize that I could be waiting for the rest of my life and never actually show up. And so some time ago, I was inspired to begin recording and sharing videos, but I didn't feel I was ready. As I said, I have this thing about perfection, and also I'm just not accustomed to speaking outside of a one-on-one conversation. And I don't even have those very often. So my voice is like an instrument that hasn't been played for a very long time. It feels a bit weak and out of tune. And in addition, there's just this nervousness of putting myself out there, putting myself on the spot in front of people I've never met, and not being certain what the response might be. So I've been putting it off, and it's been well over a year since that inspiration arose, and I still don't feel ready. But I also know that if I'm waiting until I feel ready, I'll never actually be ready, because I'll never face that discomfort. And if I never face that discomfort, then I'll never move past it. So I'm learning to move through the resistance, through all of the self-doubt and insecurity, and that requires stepping out of my comfort zone, coming out of my shell and allowing myself to be vulnerable. I realize that I just have to go through the apprehension, so that's what I'm doing. I'm finding my voice. I'm learning to let go of the limiting beliefs that have been holding me back, and I'm putting myself out there, ready or not. And it's my hope that by opening up and sharing, that others will be encouraged and inspired to do the same, regardless of whatever flaws and imperfections we may have. Sometimes we're waiting until we're perfect, but our idea of perfection may be the very thing that's limiting us. And I've recently been reminded that we don't have to be perfect to inspire others. We can inspire one another simply by the way in which we deal with our imperfections. So I'm offering this video as the prelude for more to come. I intend to post videos on a regular basis in which I'll be discussing spirituality, personal growth, philosophy, life, love, and other related topics. And I'd like to begin by making it clear that I'm not an expert in these topics. I have no formal training. I belong to no tradition. I have no degrees or certifications or any other academic qualifications. I'm simply a student of life, continually learning and growing, and I feel compelled to share some of what I've learned along the way. What I'll be sharing are simply my personal observations and insights, and I understand that they may have their limitations as well as flaws and imperfections. I offer them not in order to provide you with answers, but to provoke and encourage you to find your own answers, to find the answers within yourself. I offer these insights in the hope of inspiring others to encourage critical thinking and self-examination, leading to a deeper understanding of oneself, and with the potential of living a more fulfilling and meaningful life. And while some of what I offer may at times sound like advice, the only real advice that I give is that you use your own reason, logic, observation, and intuition to determine what is useful and practical in your own life. And so if you find these videos to be beneficial, please feel free to share them, and be sure to subscribe in order to receive updates when newer videos are added.